All right. Hey there, everyone, and welcome to episode number 129 of the TXR Podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Invader, and damn, does it ever feel good to be back on the show. I tell you guys, I really hate missing shows, and honestly, I'm just rearing to get back into the thick of things. But I have to say, Centurion, you did one heck of a job in my place last weekend. Did you enjoy taking the reins of the show?
Oh, yeah, I had an absolute blast. I got to meet Mike Mullis over there at NLG Gaming. Awesome dude, awesome podcast. And I got to sit here and kick it with Downer and Shockley, and we actually had an awesome 4-person show.
Yeah, well, well, I caught some of the highlights of that. No, that was pretty good. You really rocked it, honestly. I guess I got to hand the reins more often to you.
All right, I appreciate it. I am humbled.
Mike actually did a great job too on the show.
Yeah,
he had me laughing.
Yeah, Mike's a great guy. Well, any of the crew from NLG, fine fellas there. But yeah, Mike, I really appreciate his takes on things and just a great personality overall. But remember, Centurion, with great power comes great responsibility.
Oh, I know. Yes, Uncle Ben, I know. I'm not going to go crazy and try to, start a wrestling career and take over.
All right,
remember that in Spider-Man, the original one with Tobey Maguire? He was a wrestler.
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah,
I like that one, but yeah, they've done the whole Uncle Ben thing like way too many times.
I know, but now it's like he got completely wrote out. It's just like, yeah, we all know about Uncle Ben. We don't even do that anymore.
Oh yeah. All right, let's move along here. Jeremy, bud, how you been? You been playing any games recently?
Yeah, I just started the Star Wars game. That's a good game. I went shooting this morning and I forgot my my earbuds, not the earbuds, but the earplugs. And I can't even fucking hear right now.
Jeremy's ears are ringing.
It is ringing. So yeah.
Well, were you? I know you had picked up some new gear, I guess you could say, recently. Were you using that earlier?
Yeah, I picked up an AR-15 and a Winchester shotgun, which is actually made in Turkey, believe it or not, because Winchester's now international, so they make guns all over the world. So that particular shotgun I bought is not made in the USA; it's made in Turkey, even though Winchester is an American company.
Now, come on, Jeremy, America first.
is there anything made in the U.S. nowadays?
No, not anymore.
Mask? You can't even get a damn mask now.
Yeah,
Masks are made in Puerto Rico.
I want to know where all the toilet paper factories are, honestly. I'm just trying to figure out the logistics. Oh my gosh, man. You go in today going into the store, you just kind of like watch people go to the toilet paper aisle just to kind of walk away in shame because nothing came in, and you're just like, oh man, this sucks.
Well, I'm living here in the Garden State, so I'm predicting that a lot of trees are going to be timbering down real quick.
They're out there
harvesting. Their ass is white.
They're out there harvesting Central Park, turning it into toilet paper. Are you serious right now?
Yeah. Well, pretty soon we'll be going to wipe our ass with plastic instead of paper. So.
Okay. Credit cards, so you can't use them anymore.
Dude, we're actually having radio ads in my area for getting bidets installed into your bathroom.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I'm not joking. I cannot make that up. There is ads on the radio right now, and are you like lack of toilet paper? Have our guys come in and install a bidet.
And have you checked out the toilet paper memes? All of them. I mean, some of them are just fucking hilarious. I seen one where they have a stack of leaves next to the toilet. It's just
I've seen that one.
Yeah, that one's pretty funny.
Oh, that one's golden. Yeah, there's a lot of good toilet paper memes. Like, the memes just keep my spirits flowing right now. I love my memes. I don't know about anybody else, but I need them.
We could talk about this all the hell with games, right? All I've been with today's show, because all I've been seeing was people like calling their kids in the bathroom and
you know what,
toilet paper, and then they would just take like chocolate sauce, whatever, and rub their hands with it. And the reactions from these kids are priceless.
That being said, I think it's time to make a toilet paper game, Because we have Soda Drinker Pro. I think they should make Toilet Paper Pro, maybe. I don't know.
Dude, there is someone right now getting out a pen and paper.
Don't.
Well, you know, buddy, wouldn't it be ironic that somebody right now is writing that idea down on a napkin?
Yep.
On toilet paper.
You can make a good game out of it.
Yeah, maybe like an iPhone game. Just wipe your finger up an ass crack and just keep wiping it until it's clean.
God.
Maybe 1,000 gamers for in about 5 seconds. I'll buy it.
Pay $1 to get different versions of asses, fat ass.
Hey, if they can make a game about bread and they can make a game about trying not to fart, I'm pretty sure they can make a toilet paper game.
I think Soda Drinker Pro is probably the worst game ever made.
Yeah, I agree. I played that game.
I've never played it, man. I've heard so much about it.
Oh my God.
I love it.
It literally was the game that even Xbox was getting heat for having it on the storefront. It was that bad.
You know,
What game was that?
Soda Drinker Pro.
Really?
Yeah.
If I've never been on acid, but I could imagine like somebody on acid just tripping out about those. It's like a trip out.
Yeah.
Let's go. Soda Drinker Pro.
Oh.
Now, Megatron, how are you holding up, man? You got into any gaming?
Yeah, I've been gaming. What have I been playing? I've been damn trying to finish that. Ori has been driving me insane. Trying to
pass that worm.
Worm is chasing after me, and I'm just not good enough. I guess my old man, Twitch skills are just holding me back, man. I'm just I'm sucking right now. So for right now, as great as Ori is, it's I want to throw it out the window. That's it. It's good so far, though. But been gaming. That's it. Kind of relaxing. And that's it. Just ready to get into these topics.
Mm-hmm. Well, Ori's definitely a love-hate relationship with some of the difficulty, to say the least. I love learning all the different trials and tribulations with level design and enemies. Like you said, I haven't gone to that worm yet, but I've heard it's pretty rough at times.
We'll call it the tequila worm.
I didn't die too many times, and I think I died like a total of 161 times in Ori 2. And that worm, I probably died about 20 times.
I got you beat with that one, buddy.
Oh, I got you way beat.
That you can compete with Tim.
The part that you're talking about, Megatron, I had a big problem with that one too.
Mm-hmm.
I spent maybe 2.5 hours.
Oh shit!
I'm right behind you.
Wow.
Is that the end of the game? No, it can't
No,
be.
it's not.
It's close to. Okay. Because I've been trying to finish every single thing in the game, get all the shards and the upgrades, and unlock all the maps. Before
I think that worm's harder than Shriek, the final boss.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Tim?
Yeah, well, just because it's the Shriek is very hard too. I don't want to go too much into spoilers or give away, gameplay mechanics how to beat it, but you got to know what you're doing to beat the Shriek. But the worm, I felt the same way, Megatron. I'm very frustrated. I felt that was, you got to just it's trial and tribulations, I guess. You just got to keep doing it. You get so used to it, then you get up to a certain area.
Now,
it reminded me of remember in the first one where you go up?
Oh yeah.
When it starts to fill up.
Yep.
And then you finally get past it. It reminded me of that. But I to be honest, I talked about this with Rand. I felt Ori 2 was harder than the first one.
Yeah, it's more difficult for sure. I mean, the only difference is you actually know the play mechanics now. So I think that's why they made it harder.
Right. So. Because people did complain that it was too hard, the first one. But, I had, it's a joke, but I had 1536 deaths in the first one. I completed the game, and then on this one I had 1,000 deaths too. But the way I play, to be honest, I mean, I just try to like just fling through it. The way to play, if you're real careful, you could definitely minimize your deaths.
Yeah.
But it was a very similar experience I felt to the first one, as far as I got lost in the middle of the game. I got lost in the middle of this game where I couldn't figure out what I had to do next, and all it was like I just had to like bend, like it was like I had to go under a branch that I didn't think I could go under.
Who in the hell is watching TV right now?
It's not me.
I think it's me.
Oh
I'll
my
fix that. Sorry.
Did you find yourself yelling at the screen a couple of times? Like, oh,
Yeah. My wife yells at me because I scream when I'm not one of these people that I play games, I finish games. I don't really go and do the guides. I try to finish it on my own. I don't have the greatest of skills. Never did. I just basically truck through it. I'm also not an achievement hunter. I just want to get through the story and just end the game. That's the way I play personally. I play for obviously the game. I love the graphics on a game and stuff like that. I love the technical nature. But me as a gamer, like Jeremy always says, I do suck. But I do suck. I'm not really a great gamer. I have to keep at it to really try to be good at it. I mean, I finish games, but you put a game in a young kid gamer's hands, and it's just amazing what they can do compared to what you can do. You know what I mean?
Now you're making me feel bad for telling you that. So thanks, Tim.
No, I don't feel bad. It's true.
Don't blame yourself, Tim. Blame Ori. That little, no wonder they're extinct. Ori's just not good.
I love Ori, but it's definitely not an easy game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it too.
Ori, that little squirrel thing, like he pisses me off a lot of the time. I don't know, but I guess that explains why he has a high death rate when I play. But hey, Tim, how have you been the past week? Have you been playing a lot?
This week, actually, I've had a very busy week as far as I've been doing things that I had to do around the house, shopping. I've been playing Control pretty much, but it's been more of a week of pretty boring. But I had to do a lot of stuff. It's just
So
relaxing, and this whole weekend I didn't play anything. I just
so you've been home. You've been home. When was the cutoff?
No, I mean I've been working, but it's just I guess saying that it's just starting to get to the feel like it's. I think I was talking about it. I think it's just it's starting to get to the impatience like right now. Like everything seems like I play games and I'm bored of video games. I'm bored of anything on TV. I've watched everything. Netflix, forget it. Everything is like it's at the point where, not to complain, I have nothing to complain, but you want everyday life to start up again. We've done this for how long now, and it's just this week was particularly tough for some reason for me. Somebody brought the point up to me, like, people work 365 days a year, 12 hours a day. Imagine having that life. And, it's great that people do that, but, just doing nothing and being bored or having, the not the ability to do what you want, it gets a little shitty, so, other than that, I'm trying to finish Control, and then I want to get into Doom Eternal, which I have, so, like I said, I had a hard time with Ori, so I can definitely, feel what Megatron's doing. That game was I was fucking, excuse my language, but I was cursing all over the place with some of the stuff that went on.
Well, I tell you, Tim, Doom Eternal is just a gift. It's like from Bethesda to all of us. It is just a giant, awesome gift. You're gonna love
I
it.
heard that it was
I
a great
love the
game.
first one. I heard it's another hard game though. I heard that the last.
No.
That's good to hear. I heard the last boss is ridiculously tough, but I'm gonna definitely. I enjoyed the first one a lot. I'm gonna enjoy this one. I just kind of want to finish Control, and then be on to that.
No, definitely. I mean, with any boss, you have to figure out the different weak spots. It's not as bad as what people are saying. I don't think I beat it pretty well, but
what's his opinion on Control, if I can ask?
What'd you say? Where am I? I just completed the chapter 5 on Control.
No, but what's your opinion on it so far?
I'm a big fan of Remedy.
I am too. I enjoyed the hell out of Control.
I'm enjoying it. The only thing I would say that I got, the no waypoints, which is a debate now that's going on between gamers. I was stuck in the part. So once I got past the part where I was stuck.
Oh, dude, their freaking map system. That was the one downfall of that game.
Yeah, the map system's definitely.
Did they fix the map? Did they fix the bug on the map that would actually hide it?
Yeah, no, I had that too.
You have to like open and close the map until it finally appears. Otherwise, it's just like you're wandering around.
Yes, they still have that bug. And once you get to figure that out, which I kind of have a good figure out of it now. It's definitely unique map because it's like it's overlaid while you can still play. Yeah, that part I have to say. Other than that, the game I think it plays great. The storytelling I feel is excellent, Remedy style, but I feel like they kind of they went a different way about it than they usually do. Like with Quantum Break, more of it was like you had to read it and you had to like engage it. This they kind of just say, "Hey, you got it. You can go back to it, and it's in your paperwork. You just pick it up." Whereas with Quantum Break, you picked it up and it was like you had to read it right there. So I kind of find myself not as engulfed as I was with Quantum Break because I actually read everything in Quantum Break. And with Remedy, they have a lot of stuff that's kind of funny or, there's little things that they put in there that I have to still go back to. I kind of been just playing the game, picking the things up and not reading any of the stuff that I've gotten. So
now,
I should.
Centurion says there's Alan Wake references.
Yeah, you have to do the reading. There's Alan Wake references in all the reading. Because you'll actually find like documents on the typewriter that Alan Wake used, and they also have documents of agents describing what the situation was like going there to basically clean up that event. They just wanted to basically, it's kind of like the X-Files. They go in and make it look like that event never happened, and they just hide it. Like now the thing is though, by not reading the documents, I'm using this as an example, and like it goes into the humor that Remedy has. I found a document about a rubber duck, and this document up and down warns you about the rubber duck and how it can just mess with you. And like you're just like, oh well, that's cool. And then as you play the game later on in the game, like a while after you find this document, all of a sudden you see the rubber duck in the middle of the floor down a hallway. And like if you just basically didn't read that document, you're like, oh, there's rubber duck in the floor. But it made it different for me because you see the duck in the middle of the floor and you're like, oh crap, it's that thing.
Right. Exactly. That's the beauty of Remedy is that, like you said, they have past references, they have an odd way of humor, they have like funny things in it. So I'm gonna try actually when I pull my next playthrough to read some of the stuff. But like, as like when Quantum Break, when you picked up an item, it was right there, you had to read it. This they kind of streamlined it. And I kind of find myself not enjoying it as much as I should because I'm just picking it up and not reading it and ignoring it and just, figuring it out, the way to get past the certain point of the chapter. But overall, I think it's Remedy to me, so I'm enjoying it a lot. So I can't say that the only point that I said that I wasn't enjoying was when I was lost. But once I figured that out, the game like just fell right into place. So I'm liking it.
Am I the only one that didn't beat Quantum Break in here? I got to the
Yeah.
I barely started it.
I got to the end
Mhm.
and I never finished it, and I feel bad.
Well, from what I
Going
remember,
with
the
the
end was kind of a bummer. So
Yeah, they screwed the end up.
mhm.
The end's a bummer, but the overall game presentation of the story is excellent.
The end had me excited for a sequel. I was like, hell yeah, we're gonna keep this going.
But I'm saying that last boss, the last boss fight is garbage. I mean,
Mhm.
it took me a long time to beat it.
Because you know what, you're running around in circles, and then I guess you get to the second stage of the boss battle, and you're just kind of running around. You got this like light chasing after you or whatever, if I remember correctly, and that's just kind of so.
Well, it turns out to be the guy, and you have to run away from the explosion, and then you have to him. You know, once you figure out what you do, how to beat him, it's not that hard. But I felt Quantum Break, little tidbits like that kind of took that game down. But Remedy does a good job, man, and it's unfortunate because I feel like they don't get the credit that they deserve. It's like they're so close to greatness, and they never really get it. I mean,
I know why. Because their characters are as prevalent in their stories. It's weird. The stories are excellent. Nothing beats they're great storytellers. However, they're not good character tellers. They don't have there's not a great character presence in any of their games.
That's an interesting hypothesis there.
Yeah.
It's kind of true. I mean, they messed with the character with Quantum Break. Originally was the mud face guy that we were joking around with. Well, I think we had a name for him, but then they retooled it with Sean Ashmore and they got like that all going.
I think they should have left the old character in there, because whenever I play a game with like TV characters or movie characters, it ruins the experience for me. I don't know why.
I don't know. I thought Ashmore did all right.
Now wait a minute.
Yeah.
So what was your opinion then of not to like hijack the thing, but what was your opinion of God of War?
Oh, I love God of War.
Okay, and you know who Kratos is.
Yeah.
I'm just wanting to say, okay.
But overall, I'm saying the majority of the games I play with movie characters or TV characters, I don't really care for.
All right, and of course, last but not least, Shock. Hey, buddy, I know you've been sitting quiet there. How you been doing the past week? You been gaming at all?
Yeah, pretty good. Trying to finish a Final Fantasy remake. Pretty dope combat. Definitely my game of the year so far, and if I'm guessing Last of Us will eventually make it out. So, but as of right now, it's my game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Shock, you're gonna be mad at me. I had my finger literally on the trigger. It's no pun intended, but I had my finger on the mouse, ready to buy a Panzer Dragoon Saga for the Sega Saturn for $675.
What shit is coming?
What the?
Whoa!
Stop it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I did that a few years back.
I pulled
I
the
pulled the trigger on that.
I was gonna buy it, dude.
You're gone, bro.
I bought it for like $600. I resold it since then, but
So the other deal is they have a trilogy they have all three games with Panzer Dragoon Saga included for $1,200. I just might end up doing that one. I don't know.
What? No, that's not for all three of them.
Yeah, but it's in super mint condition. I did my research on it.
I don't even think that adds up, because I think you can get Panzer Dragoon in pretty good condition. Like maybe
lowest. Yeah, I don't know.
The other two games aren't worth that much. Like they're like expensive compared to like other retro systems, but they're both easily under $100. So
I hope they do
$1,200 out of that.
I hope they do the remake on both of them, so that way the price goes down.
Yeah, I'm hoping they do Saga. That's a long shot, but
yeah.
$1,200. Jeremy, I got it right here, buddy, for you for $800. I'm making it right now.
See, that's where you just go. Instead of that, you just go and buy a Saturn and you buy the Phoebe board, or RAIA board. Basically, it's you take out the disk drive, you put the board inside where the disk drive would go, and then you play every Sega Saturn game.
Oh my! Including Saga.
Yeah, because you put them on an SD card, and then you can patch in English translations, because there's a lot of English translations there's a huge Japanese library on the Sega Saturn. Because it did better than the PlayStation in Japan for most of the time it was there.
I gotta talk to you after this show, man, and hit you up about that.
Yeah, I'm playing through another game called Walkin' Rotor. It's kind of like the Sega Saturn's version of. It reminds me of Final Fantasy VII, but it's like a Fire Emblem type strategy game.
Yep.
But it has a really cool battle system, but it's all in Japanese. No one's ever done like an English translation, so I have to like follow kind of like my phone, kind of the translation of all the text. But it's a really cool game.
They had some sick RPGs on
amazing.
The Sega Saturn.
There's so many amazing games that are just never came over to the States, because
if you remember
Bernie Stolar, he totally screwed that system. That system could have actually done something in America, even as with all of its negatives. Because there were so many games that they just said, nah, they don't need it.
Yep.
No, I won't do good here. Like, what?
And you remember Dragon Force and
the Shining series? They didn't even finish the game. They only
Shining the Holy Ark.
Like the Shining 3, you only got like one
scenario. That's right. It was only the one game.
Oh my god. Like so many amazing Sega games just never came to the States, all in Japan.
Yeah. I ended up importing Shining Force, the second version of that one. I imported it.
But that's a great thing. You can English translate and patch all of that stuff, like police knots and stuff. So, because Sega Saturn has the best 2D games, easily kills the PlayStation quality-wise.
Oh yeah, because I think the parallax backgrounds they can do is like twice as much as the PlayStation. However, the PlayStation could do better, like transparencies and 3D effects. And
if it's like a 3D game. If it's a 2D game, it's definitely Sega's the way to go.
Yeah, people are getting bored now. We're talking retro stuff. and Centurion is looking at me like deer in the headlights, even though I can't see his eyes.
But yeah, I did get the Elite Series too.
I'm actually just sitting here going like, you know what? I'm gonna move to Montana because apparently they be balling up there. Because damn, $1,200 on some Sega Saturn games. I'm gonna go down there.
No, I only pulled I almost pulled the trigger on the $600 one, not the $1,200.
Dude, there's a shop here in Phoenix that
it's a nice
has a ton of retro stuff. I guess I'm gonna have to start going through it and finding out if there's any gems in there.
It's like a trophy piece though, so it's
it's
gonna hold its value. If not, if anything, it's gonna go up. So you could always just sell and get your money back at any point.
Mm-hmm.
But I bought the Elite Series 2. That thing is money. At first, I was like hesitant. Was it gonna feel like am I gonna have buyer's remorse? But as soon as you put that in your hands,
it's so good, Shockley.
You're like, okay, nope, this feels right. That's worth the money.
All right. Well, on that note, fellas, we're going to head right into the first topic of the evening. And after a whole bunch of early leaks and teases, Microsoft finally revealed the Cyberpunk 2077 limited edition Xbox One X console bundle. Now, Jeremy, I'm going to start with you. I know you're huge on Cyberpunk. What do you think of it?
So I'm probably giving my biased perspective on it, but because I love CD Projekt Red. I love Cyberpunk. I think getting the marketing for this game was huge for Xbox because the game's going to be huge. So I was looking at a few comments on Twitter regarding the look, and I think the general consensus is it's ugly. I don't know if you guys got that, but the general consensus is it's ugly. But I actually really like it, especially the controller. I think there was some hilarious touches in the game. Some of the language on the box, instead of the flux capacitor, it said the super capacitor. I like the samurai logo on the bottom. But the controller's the controller's great. I think it's cool that some of the lights glow in the dark, which is pretty cool. We don't know about the sounds yet, so maybe if Keanu Reeves does the opening when you push the power button, I think I'm sold on it already. But it still remains to be seen about this price point coming out for that system. I hope it's not $500. In fact, I am dreading if it's $500 because I don't know if people are going to fork over the money if this system's $500. But we'll see. I mean,
I think it'll be at least $400 with the game.
I think it's going to be $399.
Well, it's Megatron's not going to be with the game because it comes out 3 months before the actual game comes out. But yeah,
well, preloaded.
It comes with that download code. I'm pretty sure.
Download code, so definitely that. The controller, to me, I've seen better with Xbox Pope. But the controller looks. I mean, where's that yellow? You want that yellow. You think Cyberpunk, you want that kind of neon greenish yellow on the controller. Maybe do something different with the LED in the little center Xbox, that little circle, the Xbox thing. Make that a different color. Like, just do something different. This is just
like red. I like the design, the overall design. I think it was well done. Some people don't like that look, but again, it has. It has that in the bottom of the.
A lot of people like it. A lot of people hate it.
Yeah, but on the bottom of the box, it has that samurai logo, which I'm totally on board with. I think it's great that they put that on there.
Also, especially the blue LED light. What do you think of that? That blue LED light.
Oh yeah, it's gonna look sick in the dark. Yeah.
Like, to me, I think it's a sharp looking console. It's probably, it's up there on one of my favorite designs this generation for consoles. I'm a big fan of the industrial design it has to it.
Yeah.
All the little details, like the laser etchings and like you said, the samurai design, the glow in the dark. Like, I don't even know if I've seen that before on a console. The whole glow in the dark going on there, but I like it.
Yeah, I do think it's probably their best collector's edition to date. That's just my opinion, though. But I do like the Gears of War one. It was really well done, especially the controller. That controller's sick for the Gears of War limited edition. What else? I think that's it.
I personally feel the same way. I think it's going to polarize. People either love it or hate it, but for a custom console, I feel like it's good for the fact that it's very unique and there really isn't much like it. I like the way the console looks. I like the lighting on the console, the blue LED light. I think if you're into collecting consoles and this is a collector's item, this is right up your alley. So for me, I don't know if I'm going to be getting it because you're getting so close to the Series X, but I don't know. Maybe I'll just return one of my, other ones and just upgrade it, because it's probably going to be $400, and that's not a bad deal.
The timing of this, right, is to me just seems off because, right around the corner you do have the next gen consoles, and this probably is only for the collector. I do want the console, but to spend $400, I don't know, man. If I would want to I just feel like I'd be wasting money, to be honest. I'm gonna blow out on Cyberpunk stuff.
If you go on Amazon right now, they have the World of Cyberpunk 2077 Deluxe Edition hardcover. It's like a collector's edition, and it comes with it's $86.
Yep,
so you can pre-order it right now. Yeah, I think you showed it to me, actually. I reserved it like right away. But it comes with that book. It comes with a poster. It comes with some stickers. And it comes with a sick, it's a nice little bookcase, too, for it. And actually, the CD Projekt Red store has a Cyberpunk backpack. It's a really nice, sturdy backpack. That you can reserve right now that comes out in June. It's about $120 for the backpack, which is it's pretty hefty, but it's still an awesome looking backpack.
Now you're gonna get the guide too, Jeremy, because I did.
I'm not a big guide guy, but I'll do the that book, that big giant collector's book.
The hardcover looks good. Collector's edition. I usually get them and leave them wrapped They look nice on my bookshelf. So just for that, just a collector of things that doesn't cost me $1,200.
What's funny about those guides is when I was the manager at GameStop a long time ago, we used to get free Prima guides and free I forgot the other company. Oh my god. Anyway, we got free ones and we were able to get 2 a month, and they sent it to us for free. So by the time I left GameStop, I had like a whole bookcase full of Prima guides. But I burned them all. So
What?
I could.
Dude, some of those got a lot of value to them.
I had some rare ones too, and I destroyed all of them because when we moved and stuff like that, it was just like it's a headache. So I didn't feel like taking them.
You have a lot of stuff. See, anybody that knows Jeremy, it's a ton of shit. So
well, I actually have a lot of stuff in storage. I don't have stuff at the house, but storage is where it's at.
Are you getting the edition too, or no, for Cyberpunk?
The what?
Statue and everything? Are you getting the statue and everything?
No, I'm not a big statue. Maybe, but I don't really have any statues here.
I wasn't a big fan of the statue for the Cyberpunk Collector's Edition.
Yeah,
I pre-ordered it.
I thought it was all right.
Yeah.
I mean, not my favorite out there, but I don't know. I kind of like the set as a whole with the statue, but that's just me. I'm thinking in like the grand scheme of things. But what do you guys think about the date, though? It comes out, the console comes out June. Yeah, in June. So it's 3 months before like the actual release of the game. I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
Well, because the game got delayed. We'll say it came out in April, right?
Right.
So I think that's what's going on. So
now, does it still come with a download card for the game?
I believe so.
I didn't see one. Yeah, I didn't see one, but
I think I
don't
saw
know.
the
We'd
art
have to-
for it on the actual console, the box art itself. But
Yeah, I think it's just like the Gears one comes with a code.
Probably either preloaded or whatever.
The Gears one came with them all.
Yeah, but it only came with a code, so they can just give you that code, and it's just going to be because I'm sure by June you'll be able to pre-order it. So
This was supposed to be their 2019. I guess they were going to have the 2 custom consoles. So originally, Cyberpunk was what? What was it originally slated for?
April.
April.
yeah, it was
like this past week, a couple days ago actually.
yeah.
But wasn't it even slated for 2019?
Yeah, it was supposed to be at the end of 2019. Then it got bumped up to April, and then it got further bumped up to
September.
September.
Yeah.
Which means they
Now,
probably already had these all mass produced and ready to go, and then they're just saying, "Hey, we gotta get rid of these." They'll just sit there in a warehouse somewhere, probably.
I'm not sure that they made a ton of them though. I think that they made probably a nice amount, but nothing too crazy. And in a way, that's good because that makes it more limited.
Yeah, they actually made too many of the limited edition Minecraft Xbox S systems, which you can still get your hands on, by the way.
They're nice, that system.
Yeah, those actually look pretty sharp, considering. But it looks like the custom controller, it originally leaked on Amazon Canada, and it seems to be sold separately too. Would any of you guys just pick up the controller, or do you just want the entire console bundle itself?
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick up an extra controller along with the system. Absolutely.
Now, are you collecting it? Like, I'm gonna get the controller too, but I won't open it. Like a lot of these controllers that I get that are custom, I won't open it.
Yeah, I won't open the system, but I'll open the extra controller, which is part of the reason why I want it.
I still have my day one Xbox One controller still wrapped in its little foam wrapping. Never even unwrapped it. It's still there.
Well, you took it out of the box. It's worth less now. No.
Well,
Yeah. Now, Shock, do you want another controller? I mean, I know you got your Elite 2 there, but you want another one?
Yeah, I'll probably grab that one just because I haven't used like the Kate one since it kind of goes with the console. But I'd probably grab this one because this one also has like rubber on the back and then also like the grips on the triggers like the Kate controller.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'll probably snag this one.
Yeah, that's right. And a lot of people forget, all the all the controllers are all they all seem to be updated with the grips and whatnot. So they do have some added value there as well. Anybody else have anything to add to this, or can we move along?
Move along. Cheerio.
Move along and cheerio. You heard it, everybody in the chat. And speaking of the chat, guys, if you like what we're talking about, definitely, give a thumbing. And thank you to everyone that's listening to us live. Supersonic Station, Starbuck United, thank you for tweeting this out. Crazy Greek Dude, thanks. Plop, Rico Dennis. Hey, NLG's here. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Rich, Idle Sloth. Lots of good people. Jay the Graphic God is here. Mr. Kima. Thank you guys for tuning in. Okay, guys, we're going to move on to the next topic. And let's see here. And it seems like, we're going to hear more about the Xbox Series X relatively soon. And our buddy on the panel here, Tim, was dropping some hints earlier this week. Some really juicy hints regarding an event in May, possibly something in June. And, maybe even announcing the often rumored Lockhart console. Now, Tim, I obviously don't want to steal your words on this. Maybe you can elaborate more on what you've been hearing behind the scenes.
Well, I think I was the first to talk about it. I think that a lot of people have heard the same thing. Originally, the Xbox before COVID was planning to do a show in April. And they were going to reveal the Lockhart. It was going to be a hardware reveal, and they were going to do a couple of things. And then they were going to have like a big E3, obviously. They're going to Fan Fest. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. The COVID hits, that changes a lot of plans. Now, the reason why I think that I got the articles written about mine was because what happened was there was a Reddit post, and I think anyone in the chat probably knows there was a post that was actually in my DMs from somebody of note. Just put it that way. Somebody that raised my eyebrows. Oh, it was a 4chan leak. I'm sorry. And usually with 4chan, I just disregard it. But this particular 4chan leak lined up with everything that I've heard, pretty much. Not with everything with the Master Chief stuff. I didn't really hear any of that stuff. He had a bunch of stuff in there, but he did have the May reveal, and then after that the E3. So that's basically what I basically quoted that 4chan leak, and I said this matching up with what I've heard. And then I elaborated on another tweet with somebody saying that probably going to get a show in May, first week of May. It's looking, it's going to be most likely Lockhart, and there's going to be some other stuff. I think there's going to be a game that's shown, and then after that they're going to have their full blowout E3, which is going to either be in June. Now I'm hearing it's July. But obviously, the plans they were changing from what they were. So basically, I just was the first guy to really kind of grab that 4chan, give it a little bit of validity, and then after that, like many people came to me in DMs, and they were like, "Yeah, that's what I heard too." And then after that, articles were written, and then Jez said, even he's heard it, and, Clobrel said the same thing. And, a lot of people who were, in the know, Shinobi actually had said a couple of things regarding to the stuff. But basically, that's how my name got involved. I think it was kind of like information that a lot of people knew about. It's just the timing of it, and that 4chan post just kind of like was weird because it kind of like lined up with everything. Now that post was taken down, and I don't know, but whoever wrote that post, I do think was privy to some information, and like I said, it lined up to stuff that I have heard behind the scenes. I think now everyone's pretty much concluded that this is going to happen. So I do think we're going to have a show in May. It's going to be most likely Lockhart reveal. I think what I'm hearing is that we might see a game, and that's going to be showcased. So it's not going to be like a whole total hardware reveal with no game, and then they're going to just blow it out and do the whole thing in July or whatever with the E3 that they originally had planned, and they had made it now a digital show. The only thing that I haven't heard was that I think they're playing cat and mouse with Sony with the pricing.
We lost him. So I think it's fun. He just dropped, but I think it's funny how they refer to Tim as the known Xbox leaker. Tim, we're just talking about how they refer to you as the known Xbox leaker. I was busting up over that.
Yeah, I thought it was funny, but I mean, obviously, I think we all the Xbox community is so even everyone in here, we have a lot of contacts because let's be honest, we're like a big community even with Xbox people. It's crazy. The one thing about the Xbox community is there's not that all these people talk, but everyone's in the know, and I think that's the special thing about the community is that there are a lot of people that know things, and
I think a lot of people talk.
Well, I don't know, but the bottom line is there's a lot of people that are friends with each other, and that's because of things like FanFest and all the things over the years. Now, I'm not going to say my information was given to me like that. I just, my information, and that's what I'm saying, that's why I think it's funny, and I think everyone listening to this kind of would agree, was kind of like almost common knowledge, or it was like kind of known, or it could have been a nice educated guess. It's just that I think my name got attached to it because it was the first to go up about it, and like I said, it highlighted that 4chan leak and gave it a little bit of credibility. But like I said, what I was saying is that it should be May, should be Lockhart, should be a game, and then they're going to supposedly, the original plan for E3 was they were going to go crazy, balls to the wall games, and they were going to end this, this theme that they don't have games and big games. I think they're going to have some big stuff, and I do think that they're going to span it now. And the only thing that's going to be a cat and mouse thing is the price. I think that Sony is in this position where I do believe if Xbox went high on price, that would make Sony kind of match it. I think if you look at the Bloomberg report, and I think we might talk about that later, but the pricing is a big deal, and I think that Microsoft not necessarily wants to go first with that.
Part of me thinks, Tim, that Bloomberg report was purposely leaked just to get a reaction out of Microsoft. But I mean, I don't know.
I mean, that's a later. Well, we'll talk about that later because it's one of the things. But overall, the bottom line is just hold tight. We should have some information, and what I'm hoping for is we get the big game reveal, which I've heard really good things about that I think everyone wants. I think Fable is going to be announced shortly.
Now you're saying the game reveal is going to be in May, or
it's probably going to be some type of event, a digital type of thing where they just, they either have they have somebody talking about it, and they're going to go over. They're going to basically show Lockhart. They're going to say, "Here you go. We have another system," because now we're getting pretty late. If they have a Lockhart, they're going to have to show it. And I heard that that's going to be the place. The original plan was April, and that got nixed because of COVID. And this is the alternative. So there'll be two events, one smaller than the other. Obviously, the E3 is going to be the direct that they originally planned, but this other event is going to be basically they're going to talk about Lockhart. They're going to do their pitch. And I think you're going to also see a game or something shown on it.
Now, Tim, wouldn't it be cool if they did the event in May for Lockhart. And then, towards the end of the event, they show you a quick preview of things to come in June, for the
Right,
Series X.
Yeah, I think that's possible. That makes sense.
Yeah,
or whenever they had it. I think that, like I said, originally it was June, but I think that they might be looking to kind of push, extend it out a little bit more. There's no reason to, a lot of this information it was gonna be done with, I guess, in June of the original plan. Now they have this whole thing changed everything, and like you said, that I can totally see them doing that, and I think that makes sense. Show Lockhart, show a game, talk about the system functionality, talk about what you want to ride home about, and then you do a preview for E3 or whatever, the Xbox Digital, whatever they want to call it right now, and they give a date for that. That I think that would make a lot of fans happy.
So
they showed the X already, right? I think they should maybe focus on, for me, the Lockhart. Because
that's the plan.
The X, if you show the X, Series X, that's just gonna just kind of maybe eclipse everything they were whatever message they're trying to show with the S, right? I mean,
right. The S is going to be the focal point of May, I believe, the event.
I think the highlight would be what all this translates to. When you show the games and you show how they perform and how they look, that just speaks for everything. I think that's going to automatically speak for the S. It's going to automatically speak for the X. And then
they just need to get games out there because Sony's able to just say, hey, well, we're going to have everybody just assumes God of War 2, Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Yeah. So they're already even though I haven't announced games, they already have everybody saying, oh, well, all these sequels will come. So we already know what's coming. So they need to kind of get out there and not announce another console, but at least it comes with games first. Then you can mention Lockhart in June or July.
Now, if they announce Fable and it shows well,
they have to.
If they should announce Perfect Dark.
Oh man,
shows well, and then they show the new Forza with the new, the overhauled engine or whatever they're doing supposedly with that. And then they have Hellblade 2, and then there's supposedly another Obsidian sci-fi RPG that's supposedly a big project. The old adage of Xbox not having big games and
my god, stuff. Damn this virus! We should be there.
It really sucks,
bro.
Because we'd all probably be there, or maybe 4 of the 6 people here would be there, and everyone, and eventually, because every time we go there, we make more and more contacts. More and more people. The show's growing. Next year is another year. Now we don't even know if we're gonna have a show next year. So
you'll have a show next year.
I really hope so.
I hope so, Jeremy.
I think so.
Like I said, I'm losing my mind now. I don't know. Next year, if we're still doing this shit, I'd be fucking. I'd be driving
it's so damn depressing. I mean, it's really even pulling me out of gaming. Gaming takes me out of this realm of just nonsense with everyday life. But this is something different, man. You go to the grocery store now. You go in, there's one-way aisles for grocery shopping.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
There's like there's a macaroni and cheese, an off-brand, and you're like, oh my god.
You can't even go in as a whole entire family. Now it's just like one person goes in, we wait for the other person to come out, spray them down, decontaminate, and then just it's crazy.
I have, and not to throw it on you guys, but I have the benefit of living in a very, very small community, and smaller communities come together as opposed to some of these bigger cities, where it's hard to get stuff. People are fighting over stuff, like every day at work, there's someone in the community buys us pizza. So they'll bring in a bunch of pizza, and they'll give it to us, or they'll give us gift certificates to this coffee place that we can go to. Then we'll get, people are doing stuff around the community, which, it's hard if you live in a big city, it's hard to get some of those things and to experience some of those things because it's just so pure chaos. People are just, not to throw it on you guys. But
Sounds so perfect. It's like Walnut Grove. What was that, Little House on the Prairie?
Well, now,
Maybe we should move to where
I
Jeremy
want
is.
to live where Jeremy lives.
That's it. Gee.
Jeremy's the only happy one. He's like, yeah, I'm just going out. and,
Yeah, just
you know.
no, but
horseback, right?
the reason why I bring that up is because I lived in a big city before, and I know how it can get, and it's just I think it's just interesting. But
do you guys have to follow the guidelines? Because I know, like you said, that you're in a real small community, or is it like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, the places are closed down, but we can go. Like, I can go hiking, and I can go out, and I can go fishing, and I can go shooting. Like, it's just I'm not as stuck in prison in my house like you guys are. I have different things
I would
can do.
give anything to go back to where we were last year. Well, back in June, sitting in your front lawn, just meeting the family, the neighbors, throwing back a couple, smoking some great cigars, just like that memory is now more priceless than ever. Along with a bunch of things we did.
took a lot for granted. I think.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
But getting back to the Lockhart, I was the first one to say that Lockhart wasn't happening, and I thought about it last week. I'm like, well, maybe it is happening. I think these are the reasons why. And, Tim's seen the design of the new, Tim, I think your mic's going crazy. So anyway, I've seen the design of the Series S, and it's going to be a white console, hypothetically. Nobody's seen it, what it looks like yet, but I'm assuming those are the things. And that's part of the reason why they're coming out with a new system. They can't release a Xbox Series X and not be in the same family as, the Xbox X and Xbox S if they do it like that. So I think, now I think it is coming. I'm jumping ship now. No.
No, well, it's interesting that you say the white console. Where did you hear that?
Because it makes
sense to what I've heard.
Yeah, it makes sense, because why would they release another black console and have two black? Right. It just doesn't make sense. If you look at the Xbox X, it's black. The Series S, the S is white. So it just makes sense to have the same family.
They're discontinuing the Xbox One X and the Xbox One S. So they'll just be you'll be only in the marketplace, it'll be only the Series X, or if they might keep the digital console to be a real cheap alternative.
That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. Now, Tim, I have to ask, have you heard anything regarding like some of the smaller studios, such as like anything about Compulsion or Double Fine, anything what they're doing?
I heard Compulsion supposedly working on a horror game, but that's nothing. I wouldn't write home about that. That was, you hear a lot of things. The way I usually, really feel strongly about a rumor or something that's going around is when you have like three different sources. Like if you have one source and it comes out, it's very you really can't ride with it. But I have heard that what I've heard is Xbox is really happy with the work that Playground's doing. They're really impressed, and the bigger studios are really panning out, whereas the smaller studios, I haven't heard much. But I'm interested in Compulsion if they could actually do a horror type game.
I think they could.
The other thing I heard was, and this is pretty concrete, is that In Exile is definitely gearing up for a bigger type game the biggest game that they've ever created. Not the stuff that they're doing now. They're going to try to, they're going to be AAA or AAA, scale. So that's one good thing. So that would give them Playground, Initiative, In Exile, Obsidian, all doing AAAs, Coalition 343. Other than that, haven't heard anything other than the small. Although out of all the smaller studios, I'm intrigued the most by Compulsion because they've been really quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they've hired some pretty good people. So they've hired some pretty nice talent, but they're the smallest by far.
Tim, when all is said and done, I think they need to talk about these games. They need to give fans something to look forward to in terms of just games coming out, because you and I both know that if Sony just even announces God of War 2, if they even announce Horizon Zero Dawn 2, and Xbox doesn't have any of those titles, those big titles, we're going to get killed again. So,
well,
I mean, it's Halo Infinite, though. I mean, that's the biggest.
Agree. I think
that's bigger than everything.
It's fair.
It's bigger than everything that you just said. So I
agree.
No.
I agree. But
No,
I think
because
where Jeremy's going is he is correct in the fact that the games like God of War 2 is going to really get people going. Spider-Man 2 is going to get people really going. Sony, without a doubt, has, I would say, the edge if you compare the studios. That's why I think it was so critical for Xbox to nail the hardware, because if they didn't have that, they'd be in a lot of trouble. But that's not going. That goes without saying. That doesn't mean Xbox games can't be great.
But I do want to answer Megatron's. I want to answer him. So you look at developers like the Coalition and what they've done to the Gears of War series, and knowing that it's not the same series it once was. It doesn't have the same pedigree of games and content and characters as it once did. And the same goes for 343. You can say that they both, the Coalition and 343, have done a disservice to both franchises.
Although if you play the first Gears of War multiplayer, it had bugs all day long, and they never got fixed until like months and months and months later. People complained they didn't do shit. So I don't know. I give them a little bit of a pass, and they have a lot more content, and they don't charge you for map packs and split up the player base.
And I'm telling you right now, Megatron, the new Halo that's coming out, this is going to be a make or break for 343. If they do not deliver on Halo Infinite, they're going to get killed. And Xbox, you'll see the Series X get off to a very slow start.
What do you think it is? It's not the multiplayer, because I think the multiplayer is.
No, it is the multiplayer. It is
no,
the
it's not. This is one of the best multiplayers they've ever made. That any Halo's ever had. In Halo 5, in Halo 5, it has a learning curve because people just aren't very good. But it's one of the best arena shooters there is.
Well, you're talking about just the gameplay, okay? But I'm talking about...
Well, I'm saying the multiplayer is what I'm saying.
The multiplayer. So, I think the person...
They just haven't put it on one package. That was their only problem.
Right. So the person that creates the level design for the old Halo games, I think now works for Undead Labs, if I'm not mistaken. He's gone. He used to create those iconic multiplayer maps that you used to see in these Halo games. Like what were some of the maps? I can't even think of them. Oh my god, going. Anyway, but that's what's missing from these multiplayer maps. Nobody cares about the Halo multiplayer anymore. Nobody.
Yeah.
So would you say the same? See the same?
I would, just because of the fact that usually when you think back to like a Halo game, you can think back Halo 2, Halo 3. Oh, I liked the Pit, I liked Midship, and so on, Valhalla. But then when you start thinking of the 343 Halo created maps, and in Halo 4, okay, there might be one or two. I could think of Haven, maybe Exile. But then when you go to Halo 5, I mean, in my opinion, and I get the feeling that a lot of the community feels the same way about this. The Halo 5 maps. I'm not necessarily talking about the actual action going on in the multiplayer, like the movement system and whatnot, but the maps themselves just. I don't know. They're not as iconic as what
they're not as intricate as they are. You know, back in the day, everything was placed so well that even though Halo in general was a slow multiplayer game, it felt fast because of the level design and the weapon placement and everything. You know, the geometry of the maps that you can, some of the things that you can fight on create a unique experience. Now they made the game faster with more tricks and gameplay elements to it, and the multiplayer aspect has gotten worse. Why? Because you don't have that same iconic level design, and the game is not as popular anymore because of that. It's suffering because of that.
Well,
I thought I heard more
that
complaints
happened
about the
with under
campaign more
Bungie
than
too.
anything. I think people. I mean, I heard more complaints about the campaign.
Reach. People say they love
Yeah.
Reach.
Never.
But people hated the multi. So many people got so pissed off with Reach's multiplayer.
Very
That was under
true.
Bungie
Yes, very.
because they didn't like all those little like abilities. They hate a lot of the core fan base hated it.
Yeah, but that's one game. I mean, you could say the other 3 games were just, just spot on with the multiplayer match, especially
But not with the story.
1, 2, and 3.
Like Halo 2 story, the way it just ends and it's just that was your secret.
That was
Yeah.
That was I was pissed about that. However, everything leading up to that point was great, except when you played with the I didn't really care playing with the Arbiter, but they need to tighten up this. You'd like that? I didn't care for it.
Halo 4 had a great campaign. Probably one the first Halo finally actually focused on like storytelling.
Let me tell you about Halo 4. It did have a great campaign. However, later on in the game, it fell off. You could tell by the later levels. It was almost like they ran out of ideas, so to say, with the later levels. It was really repetitive, and it just felt. I don't know. Just my opinion, but
I think Halo 4 was good, but I think Halo 5, their campaign, really was a step down from the series.
That's why you don't hand Halo to a brand new studio.
I mean, 343 this studio is huge now, and they are using a lot of contract work also as well, in addition to their own thing. So. Jeremy's correct. It is a make or break, and I don't know if this game's bad, what you do with 343 because
okay.
I don't think it really has a chance of being bad. Even Halo 5 it wasn't like a bad game. It reviewed way better than a lot of Sony exclusives like Second Son, Infamous, and Killzone. Sure. Both of them, all of the Halos and Gears under these new studios did better than Sony's amazing studios.
So it's not going to like Gears of War 4 and 5 aren't bad games. They just don't live up to the first 3. I'm sorry. Same thing for Halo 4 and Halo 5. They're not bad games. In fact, they're probably better than the majority of the games out, on any system, on any console. However, if you take a look at the previous efforts, that's where it kind of this falls off. We're talking about some of the greatest games ever made. It's never.
You're right. I mean, the first Halo had a 97 Metacritic. Halo 3 had a 95, I believe, Metacritic, or a very high Metacritic. So yeah, you're right. They've kind of went on a downward trend, and a lot of times when you get up to these high sequel numbers. With anything, even like Call of Duty or Battlefield, that tend to happen. But I guess it's a wait and see. This is going to be a huge moment for 343.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm hearing good things though. On the other thing, I've heard that there's some good things that might be going on with that. So,
well, I like
it hits where we want it to.
I liked Alana Pierce's comments on RDX the other night because she was responding to I guess there were some comments about how things were, were going, and she'd heard some things about how they really wanted to supposedly do good with the fans this time, and
Sure.
yeah. So no, I feel more confident after hearing those comments from Alana, so that was really cool. But guys, I think we're gonna move on. Do you guys have anything else to add to this?
Yeah, I've never played a bad Halo game. I'll just straight up and say that there was some mixed messaging with Halo 5, of course, but I still like the campaign nonetheless. And the multiplayer to me is fun as hell. And I would love to play with you guys, tonight even. But I think I don't know. I'm confused about this whole thing. I think there's a lot to look forward to with Halo Infinite and what Microsoft is doing and growing their studios. They're focused, and the same thing with Fable. So,
I've been sitting here quiet, listening, just kind of taking it all in. And the only thing I want out of this whole situation right now is I don't want Microsoft being graded on a curve. All because PlayStation has given some pretty solid first player experiences on their console that are exclusive. And all of a sudden, because of that, sometimes the other guy is given a pass where Microsoft is kind of graded a little bit more stringently, harshly. Everybody
the goddamn time, like
I'm just
nice
saying
about it, but it's all the goddamn.
Well, I'm just saying, like, looking it up, like showing it up at a racetrack. It's all right for the other guy to kind of show up and sometimes bring the A game, but Microsoft always has to be on A game mode. There is no slack for Microsoft.
Yeah, sorry, Centurion, but when you create one of the greatest systems ever made with the Xbox 360 and have tons, and we're talking dozens and dozens of some of the best games ever made on that particular platform, and they played better, and they had the content, and you had the indie game, and it was just the complete package. And then all of a sudden you create the Xbox the Xbox One, and you become irrelevant, and you become third place. It's not good enough.
See that, and then we're all throwing third place. I'm gonna tell you right now, the Nintendo Switch is a phenomenon, but at the same time, it is a hybrid console, and it is what it is. It's its own thing. It's like PC. It's the sovereign island of Nintendo Switch, and then you have PC. And then there's the two console guys. Like, really, the main back and forth that I see is on like Sony versus Microsoft. But the only thing I understand that the Xbox One was a failed launch. Come on, there's a reason why we call it the VCR. It was an entertainment device. It was supposed to be something completely not gaming. It even came out of Phil Spencer's mouth that the people that were around under Don Matrix were not happy with the direction that he was taking things. But they're not in charge. It's kind of like how it works in real life for everybody. The boss makes decisions and you just got to go along with them, whether you agree with them or not. And we all see the after effects of that because he's not around anymore. And the people that didn't agree with him are all trying to do what they can to kind of bring this brand back together. And I feel like Phil Spencer has actually done a really good job with the situation that was pretty much just thrown in his lap.
Yeah, I mean, there's some truth to that, but at the same time, man, I mean, what happened to some of these relationships? They used to have a strong relationship with some of these Japanese companies that used to make just tremendous games on the Xbox platform.
Don Matrix,
and it's
that as we all know,
you saw all Japanese stuff when he came in. You didn't have any other Japanese exclusives
because he was trying to get trying to make the Kinetic work again. I mean, the Kinect work again. I do that every damn time.
The Kinetic,
dude, he was really pushing for that thing because wasn't like the Kinect like a brainchild of his? Like that was his one success in Microsoft was the Kinect.
That was his baby.
Yeah, I'm gonna be upfront. So that was basically how we feel about Phil Spencer with Crackdown 3. That was Don Matrix in the Kinect.
Why isn't Destiny an exclusive? Don Matrix.
Definitely.
I've never heard the story about that Destiny not being exclusive.
Well, I mean, they let Bungie go. They owned Bungie. They controlled Bungie. There's nothing they can leave. They owned them.
Right. That was the whole crux of the situation. and that was the story where Bomb.
Everybody's like, well, they didn't want to keep making Halo. Well, I'm like, well, they didn't. That obviously that wasn't the problem because they let them go. So they didn't care if they made Halo or not. And
went
they
and
still
made a
needed
different version of Halo.
Yeah, and they still needed a
That's
sugar
what it feels
daddy.
like.
They went and took Activision, and Activision controlled how their content was delivered. So it's the same shit.
Yeah, no, that's true. Activision really held them for ransom there for a little while. But you know what, guys, we're going to move on. We're going to segue in. We were talking about Japanese games at the end there.
Yeah, that was actually a good segment.
Very good, actually. Yes, that's correct. And interesting, speaking of the Japanese games, there's been a rumor that was circulating a few days ago that Microsoft and Sega are planning to announce some kind of a partnership in maybe a couple of months. And now this comes from Sega news site, Sega Bits. They broke the rumor, but they've kind of, I don't want to say backtracked, but they've kind of quieted down on it a bit. Now, what do you guys think about this rumor with Microsoft and Sega? Do you think that it could be them possibly buying Sega or maybe just funding a whole bunch of IPs? Megatron, I'm going to go to you about this because I know you like to dabble with, some of the Japanese type games sometimes. How do you feel about this rumor?
I just simply think, I don't think they're going to be buying Sega. I just think more so they'll be maybe looking more into their IPs and maybe trying to bring them back. Which one? I don't know. Sonic? It's not on my radar, but I mean, it wouldn't appeal to me too much. But I can't really think of anything that would kind of get me excited as far as a Sega game.
Really?
I know there's some out there. I mean, Ultra Beast, Golden Axe. It's just not on my radar for right now. It's just not.
Bayonetta.
So Sega, who makes some of the greatest.
Does Sega make Bayonetta?
They didn't make it, but they published it.
Do they own the IP? Okay, so all right. I don't know. Bayonetta. I never really liked it. I mean, I have it, but it was never really a game that I care for too much. So,
wow.
Sorry.
Unbelievable.
Sorry.
I'm kind of right there with Megatron. I'm not trying to interrupt.
I like Sega. I love Sega, but it's just not at my top of my list right now. It's just so many other things that I really kind of want to see come out.
I'm just saying, like, for me, it's the main question of what IP does Sega have in its war cabinet, war chest, whatever you want to call it right now, that Microsoft could use and implement to get eyes on the ecosystem.
You guys are insane. Either that or you're just young gamers and not retro gamers, and you know nothing about history. Because
now are you trying to say nostalgia sells?
I mean, I still got my Sega CD and Sylphy still sitting there because it won't open.
Sega sits on a gold mine that is not even touched or utilized. It hasn't been utilized since the Dreamcast era. We're talking about the Sonic series. We're talking about Phantasy Star. We're talking about the Shining series. We're talking about the Yakuza series, Persona. Oh my God, the Golden Axe series, Alter Beast, Streets of Rage. Sakura Wars, Sonic. I could just go on for hours.
Okay, so real quick, Jeremy, you're looking for that to be exclusive to Microsoft because if we already got that, then why
guys, they have the studios. Why would they spend the money though? They have the studios.
We got to see some Rage coming now.
Dude, if they've got the studios, everybody's harping on Battletoads. If they started bringing some of this other stuff out, it would just fall into the same category.
That's because Rare's making it, but that's because Rare's making it. They're not putting any money into it.
It would be one of those
Rare's
things.
Not making it.
I'm just saying, like,
there's
this
some
would bring
indie
out
small
all
studio
the people.
that came and asked them hey, can we make it?
Oh, wow.
I'm sure there's some great titles in there. There's great gaming history. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of fanfare. Does it deserve to be idolized? Yes. Does there deserve to be new games? Yes. But right now, with, like I was talking about, grading on a curve, everybody right now is basically, if they were to buy Sega and say we're gonna bring this game, that game, and this other game, it's just gonna be Game Pass filler.
Well, the biggest piece would be Atlas because Sega owns Atlas, so that means all the Persona games, at least whether or not they're exclusive or not, they're not exclusive to Sony anymore. Those are huge right now.
So, If it is just filler, I'm gonna be pissed and disappointed. However, if it's news that either they bought Sega or they're purchasing their IPs, that's big news to me because they're going after Sega because of these titles, because of these IPs. That's the reason for these partnerships.
I know there's great history in Sega, but we're talking there's multi-billion-dollar companies now that are being built on Battle Royale.
Oh God.
What's the one?
We got it. That's the only thing. Like, I'm 34. I know you're older than me. The older gaming generation is really like, no offense out there, but the older gaming generation is really the heart of gaming because they've been able to see gaming evolve, change, and just expand as it's come out. And the younger generation doesn't have all that history in the back of their head. They just see skins and season passes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man, they used to make great games. You remember Shock?
Yeah,
Shock
that
22.
Genesis was my my first system I own.
I just cry every time I think about it. Part of me dies.
Now Xbox has deals with some studios with Sega. They have Age of Empires 4 still in the works. They even Creative Assembly did Halo Wars 2. So they do have kind of a connection there, even going back years ago as well. But there is a current history there. I mean, you could say that maybe they do I think that they're going to buy all of Sega? It's a lot. I mean, Sega's still a huge company. It's huge. It's a huge publisher, let alone it's not just one studio. It's a collection of several studios, but Sega would definitely be a nice piece, in my opinion, of course. And it's not like we haven't seen Phil, for example, talk about being interested in getting Japanese content or having a Japanese studio. I mean, this would be a large collection of studios, no doubt, but it would make sense for them to go out and be aggressive over there anyways.
So I think they mostly treat it like how they did Minecraft. So a lot of it would just still continue to be multi-platform.
Now, I also want to say with Xbox having Game Pass, maybe Sega would be a good start to, like you were saying, there's great gaming history. Game Pass would be a great way to deliver some of that history to people that have never experienced it.
Yep. That's one of the key values of buying Sega.
It could be something where they just add another prescription service. You think what would happen?
Let me tell you.
I'm thinking a lot less than you guys are.
Yeah. These are dreams, Tim. These are dreams.
I know. Listen, I remember you telling me 2 years ago because there was a rumor about Sony and getting a deal with.
And I flipped out, right?
You flipped out, yeah. So I know that this is something that you really wanted, but for me, I just think if it is anything, if it is anything at all, it could just be some type of collaboration where they like maybe have arcade hits or some type of thing where they, like a little bit of a collaboration. Like you can play their older games. It's gonna be something that we all like. Oh, that's not what we want, But if they did buy them. That'd be a big get. How many developers do they have? That type of thing.
I think Phil would just be simply, and Xbox would just be simply happy of just having these games come in day and date. Which I hate that phrase, but it's the same as they do the same release time they release PlayStation. I think that in itself would be a victory.
Persana's a big game that's on the. I think just even getting Persona on the. Console is a big deal, but I don't know how that is. I don't know if Sony's publishing Persona 5.
Sega owns the IP, or Atlas does.
I'm still looking at that $3 price tag of Sega Bandai, Tim, where it's very cheap to buy. But just I don't know.
No, I know for the longest time you've said that Microsoft should make a play for Sega, and listen, it would probably be a smart idea. I know that they were looking to do something with a Japanese studio to round out the, XGS, the game studios. So I guess we'll see. But my take is that it's something very minimal, if anything.
Well, let's say some of these games go to Game Pass, and we're talking about maybe they do like the history of Sega, and they bring some of these older titles, many of the older titles, to Game Pass. And I'm not talking about the 16 area, but I'm also talking about the 32-bit area, and also the 128-bit era.
Right, Fantasy Star or Fantasy Zone. Remember that?
Right.
Game, Fantasy Zone.
Well, Fantasy Star.
They have Fantasy Star, but they also have Fantasy Zone. They have. If you look at their games, they've had a lot of games.
So if you could bring that to Game Pass, I mean, geez, we're talking about huge impact and some waves that we'll be making in
Mm-hmm. Well, if you want to be really aggressive, look at xCloud. Project xCloud just released in Japan a week ago, something like that. And just imagine if you had, I mean, they probably have. I haven't seen the list recently, but imagine having like a whole bunch of Sega's games on xCloud. That would be something that would really push it in Japan.
Yeah. And you could push games like Space Channel 5 on Game Pass. You can push games like Samba de Amigo. No.
You want it.
Space Harrier. They had a lot of good games. I mean,
Yeah.
But then again, who's making the games? Are you just doing emulation or?
Yeah, you could do emulation.
What was that fishing game? That weird ass fish that had
Sega Bass Fishing.
It had your face, or it had like a face on it. Was it?
Oh, that's Seaman. Seaman.
Seaman.
Seaman. But all right, do you guys have anything else to add to this, or can we move on?
Yeah, with some of these conversations have been getting feisty. I like it.
A little feisty, everybody's bringing their feist game tonight for sure. All right, I'm gonna move us along here. In that case, let's see how the feistiness goes onto this. And earlier this week, guys, we saw the launch trailer for Gears Tactics, and hey, you know what? We got to see new story elements, the main story, the bad guy in the game, and a whole bunch of new features in the game. And it comes out pretty soon. I think next week, April 28th. On PC, and it hits Xbox, sometime later this year. Now, Shock, I gotta ask you, because I know you play on PC, not a lot, but enough. Are you looking forward to this game? Are you interested in this Gears title?
Definitely interested in it. I haven't played any like XCOM games, but I've played a lot of like strategy, like Fire Emblem, stuff like that. It's probably just gonna be on my backlog a little bit, just because I have a lot of like Resident Evil 3 to finish, Final Fantasy. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in playing it eventually. But
Now, do you think that it's not a good idea to have it launching with Xbox on the same time as the PC? Because I've seen a lot of people get upset about that, right? And I guess a lot of Xbox guys feel a little dismayed.
Don't recall anyone saying a word last gen when Microsoft Flight Simulator never came to the 360. Like, it's only PC exclusive. Like, it's the same, but people are making a big deal about it because it's Gears. But I think them focusing on it, I mean, if that's what they want to do, I mean, it's not. It's coming. It's not like staying exclusive. They've already told you, so they're just going to make sure it's tooled perfectly for the platform it was intended on, because that's where those type of games excel better with a mouse and keyboard versus. It's like trying to play World of Warcraft or StarCraft on like the N64. It was kind of a shitty experience if you've ever played it.
The Gears Tactics plays a lot like XCOM. In fact, I would say it's a carbon copy of XCOM, just slap with the Gears stickers on it. As far as the aesthetics of the game, the graphics, just everything in general, the sound. So that's all they're really doing. But I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that this game is not coming day and date like Megatron would say, but because I know these titles are needed on the Xbox. XCOM was pretty popular on the platform, and I mean, obviously, it's not going to be as popular as a first-person shooter. I believe XCOM before it was a strategy game actually was a first-person shooter. Then it kind of developed into a strategy game.
It was also a PC game.
Yeah.
Game over.
But I was looking forward to playing this on console day one, but it looks like I have to. I'm not going to touch it on PC because I don't game on my PC much. I'm more of a console gamer.
Mm-hmm. And that's fair. Now, Megatron, I know you're a huge Gears guy. Is this something that you'd be interested in playing, even though it's not a mainline game? It's more of like an XCOM like strategy game.
We know Gears Pop wasn't a mainstream, and I put, I don't know, probably over 100 hours in Gears Pop, probably, and got almost all the achievements. So I'm willing to give this a try too. It's probably, I mean, I like strategy games. I enjoyed Halo Wars 2. I never played XCOM, but if it's similar to that, then I'm down. I'm willing to try anything new.
Yeah, if you guys have a Series X, I'm sorry, Series X. Jeez, I keep saying it. It's on my mind. If you guys have an X, XCOM is actually enhanced for the system, so you can download it. It's a great game, and you can see what some of the gameplay is like. Or what Gears Tactics will be like in that game.
Yeah, I actually own the. Well, it has all the content for it, XCOM, and I gotta tell you, it is one fantastic game. The amount of customization and just the amount of risk and reward that you get to it. You know, like your teammate permanently dies, you know, and you put a lot of effort into them. You know, so be it. You gotta start over with someone else, and it's heartbreaking.
I think they've been doing nothing but giving this game high praises. So I mean, I think Jez, when they did their show, him and Rand, he said nothing but great things about this game, if I'm not mistaken. So I've been seeing it all over Twitter. I can't really be specific. You know, you just skip through stuff on Twitter, but I heard nothing but great things. So I think it's going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's definitely interesting. You can recruit NPCs, I guess, join your the army, and you can personalize them and form a squad. You can train them. So I thought that aspect of it was interesting. Again, the whole
wanting to pick up XCOM. I've never played it.
I think it's on Game Pass. Is it on Game Pass?
No, it's not on Game Pass, unfortunately. But you can pick. It's compatible. Centurion, you'll pick it. You'll like that game. It's awesome.
It's so in depth. Like, it is a really good sci-fi alien strategy game. Like, it is really good. It's turn-based, turn-based strategy, and lots of thought, lots of detail to it. I highly suggest it. I'm still in the middle of it myself, but man, there is so much content that you get with it. I think I got the the Ultimate Edition with all the DLC.
Yeah,
it's so good.
DLC came out, I think, last year for that too. XCOM, didn't it? Wasn't it? Just recently. It wasn't too long ago. They had some DLC for XCOM. It was rather pricey too. I remember I think Cognito was talking about it from ILP, but I think just last year, sometime early last year, they came out with some DLC that I heard was pretty good too.
The game, it's pretty intense too. Centurion. I mean, we're talking about intense firefights, nice strategy in the game. It's just a great game.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you guys notice they had spoken about this a couple of months ago, but they made a big point in the launch trailer to put in no microtransactions in big letters? Did any of you guys catch that?
I didn't. No.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the flow. Bleeding Edge also did the same thing. So, they've had this reputation of having these games that were, just trying to just nickel and dime you. But I like the trend. So you have Bleeding Edge said the same thing. And now you have this.
Is anybody playing Bleeding Edge? It's not a joke. It's just, is anybody playing? I mean,
I don't trust your questions. It's so loaded with Jeremy. You're like,
as they say on Twitter, that's bait.
He's fishing. Stay away. He drops his big hook in the water, the gaming waters.
Is anyone playing Overwatch?
Yes, actually, they are.
Well, Overwatch kind of died out a bit.
Well, Overwatch actually just launched.
I don't know
a new
anybody that played
character
Overwatch.
the other day.
I know a lot of people played it, but no one I knew.
I got people on my friends list that are still playing Overwatch. I really wanted to lie and say yes, I'm playing Bleeding Edge, but I just forgot about it. because I just been so preoccupied. But you know what? that sounds awful, but I enjoyed the hell out of what I played. Damn it! And you know what? I was gonna go with Halo tonight. I'm going with Bleeding Edge today.
And you forgot about your favorite game too.
Sea of Thieves. I know.
You haven't played that game in like 4 months.
Unforgettable game. I played it 2 weeks ago. Damn it.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, maybe since everybody's not as busy right now, maybe we can get like a group going sometime. Maybe like whenever we're free sometime this week. So
yeah, we can play tonight. Megatron
I'm
and Tim
down.
will probably fall asleep tonight.
I am down. I'm wide awake, bro.
I gotta work at 5 in the morning. So
yeah, I'm kind of with Tim on that one. I gotta work in the morning, but you guys go nuts. Go collect some coconuts and whatnot.
Coconuts and Bleeding Edge. We're Bleeding Edge to Sea of Thieves. What we're playing it? Bleeding Edge, damn it, right?
Bleeding Thieves.
Sounds good.
This sounds. I don't know if this is a positive or a negative, but I'd rather play Sea of Thieves than Bleeding Edge.
Oh my gosh, you're brutal.
Well, I'll say this. Bleeding Edge. I mean, they are suffering from like the same thing at launch, but at least Sea of Thieves does have quite a bit of content now, so I'd be more than happy to like go in and play it because there is a lot to keep you satisfied. But Sea of Thieves, Bleeding Edge just needs more time to bake, in my opinion. But I've seen people have fun with it. I've seen a lot of people. I saw UK Daz playing a few rounds of it earlier today. There is a community for it, so definitely like Fastback was saying enjoy playing Bleeding Edge last night. So there's definitely you guys playing. But yeah, guys, going on to Gears Tactics though. I definitely plan on picking it up. Maybe not on. I don't think I'll be playing on PC anytime soon. Personally, I'm gonna wait for the Xbox version at some point. I just wish that they would give us a date because they have left us hanging a bit. So, all right. Anything else to add to that, guys, or can we move on?
Move on.
All right, fellas. Now, this is going to be our last topic tonight. And according to an article from Bloomberg, Sony will be producing fewer PS5 units in its first year in comparison to the PS4. I think they're expecting for the PS5 somewhere around 5 to 6 million units. And in comparison, the PS4 had sold 7.5 within 2 quarters. So kind of a big difference there. And according to certain sources, Sony is limiting its initial production run in part because it expects the PS5 specs to weigh in on demand by leading to a high price at launch. And they expect this price, well, from what the sources are saying, to be in the region of $499 to $549, kind of like what we had talked to before. Now, Centurion, I really want to get your thoughts on this first. Do you think we'll see the PS5 with a higher price tag since the components seem to be, well, it's sounding scarcer right now as reported? What do you think it'll be at?
Man, you got to put me on a spotlight like that. This is like one of the biggest debates I have in my head. Definitely, I have always leaned that these consoles we're going to be between the $500 and $600 range. I have been called a crazy person, all that other stuff.
You're so crazy.
I know. It's kind of like I'm at least trying to save myself from sticker shock. But at the time of creating these thoughts, we were having, major issues with, tariffs and stuff like that looked like they were going to influence the cost of these consoles and raise them at no fault of the hardware developer. Neither Sony or Xbox were in control of that. Now, the whole situation with PlayStation, I think it's really interesting that there is a lot of rumors kind of circulating Sony right now and their console, and they haven't really got out in front of too many of them. I really do see the what was the original launch price of the PS4? Just out of curiosity.
The PS4 was $399.
Yeah, that's
So it was
correct.
400. So at least in my mind, it is conceivable that it is going to be more expensive, even though I know that $400 price point is really nice. But they are using a really well put together SSD that everybody's talking about. There is stuff in this console. The RDNA 2 is some pretty up there tech. I don't see how this console is going to be able to kind of hit that $400 range. I think 450, 500 is more of a viable number on what that console is probably going to cost.
So, if you look throughout history, the PlayStation 2 had this issue where some of the components were very scarce. So, I think what's going to happen is the first year of the PlayStation 5, that it's in its initial release is going to be at $499. They're going to do a limited production of it, meaning they're going to wait until these parts become cheaper in value. So that way, when it's time to rock and roll and they're ready to sell some systems, it's still going to be at that $499 price range. So I think that's why, just so if you make so many systems, what you're doing is you're cutting your costs, and that's what it comes down to. Go ahead.
Well, I'm not trying to take this conversation down a different road, but this is a theory that's been going in my head right now with the situation that we got. Everybody's sitting at home, quarantine here, stay at home order there. Basically gaming is surging right now. We can see that on the numbers on everything. No matter what platform you're playing on, there's a lot more people to play your favorite game with everywhere you go. Now, as a result of that, I really see people that have let gaming go all of a sudden are back in gaming, but they're not the people that already know about the Series X or the PS5 and all this great tech that's coming out. They're just getting back into gaming. So now I feel like the ecosystem for the previous generation for both systems now, PS4 and Xbox One, is getting bigger, and I really kind of see that's probably going to influence how long they're going to support the older generation going forward, because now they're going to have a lot more people to support because more people are getting invested in gaming right now. And I don't see these people as soon as the holidays come around going, hey, I had a blast playing that Xbox One that I just got. I'm going to go grab a Series X. I see them sticking with the Xbox One and
money to spend.
True, yeah, that too.
$500 to buy a new console, whether it's X or whatever you want to buy. It's just
before this pandemic, I was still holding strong on 600. Before this pandemic, now they kind of, I think they have to evaluate and hit that $500 mark at least to try to keep it to where people aren't just gonna, just drone out the minute they hear $600.
It's not going to be $600. I'm telling you right now, because it'd be the death of the system,
dude. Okay, I was completely floored when I heard the price of the SAT-A or the SAID, whatever you want to call it, the Xbox One all digital. I was floored when I heard the price tag. I was like, wow. And I'm sorry, that's what I'm going off of right now. Is that thing was priced higher than we thought it would be?
What was it? $199 or
$249? It was $300.
It was $300.
No way.
It was released at $300. Swear to God,
bro.
You could buy an all digital for $300, or you could go out and get an actual S for $349, or you could get the creme de la creme out of all the consoles at $499. That was their structure at that time.
The S with the Blu-ray, the 4K player in it for $300. I mean, that was the whole rub. I'm like, why would you even consider buying me?
Oh, dude, even the Xbox One X people were floored at that price tag. That's why I'm just saying, like, if we're going off history, we've seen a history out of Xbox pricing things higher than we thought they would be.
I think Shockley's fucking driving again. Jesus Christ, Shockley.
No, he's getting all that electricity going from playing Final Fantasy VII.
He turns off his mic.
I'm gonna drop the mic. It's gonna be $499.
Dude, if it's $499, I'm gonna be jumping up and down happy. I'm not saying it needs to be $600. I guess in my mind, I'm just preparing for the worst, so that way I can walk in there and be like, "Hey, I saved $100. Cool."
I think they'll both take losses on it, but one
Do you
of the
guys
main
know?
things-
Do you guys know why they release it? The price tag at it's just they ended at 99 as opposed to like 500. Do you know why they do that?
Why?
Centurion, you know why, Centurion.
I'm curious on what your opinion
For
is.
the love of God, tell us why.
So
Penny.
Well, it's all psychological. It makes it.
yeah,
like-
exactly.
It's
Shockley
psychological.
got it.
Yeah,
Shockley got it.
I just
Good
did.
job,
I was,
Shockley. Even
it
while
is
driving,
psychological.
Shockley. Good job.
dude. I'm
Also,
gonna
they
be
don't
upfront.
do-
I've closed deals for $15,000, but it sounds better when you're like, yeah, it's like $14,995.
Well,
Yeah.
especially when you eyeball it, it's a psychological thing. Yeah. So
Well, I
That's
guess
the
we'll
reason.
see.
Mm-hmm. It's just still. I mean, if they're both $499, man, can you imagine like Xbox's selling point though would just be off the hook? Everybody was going crazy over the if you go back to the whole 1080p versus like 900p at the beginning. Oh,
Now, but we're going off of right now. We know PlayStation is wanting to be competitive. We already know they want to be competitive. At this point, I'm having this debate in my head. Does Microsoft want to be competitive or superior? Competitive, they put it the same price as the PS5. Superior means they know they built a really great product and they're going to stand behind it and they're going to feel like they have the superior product, which in turn has a little bit of a higher price tag behind it. It's like the difference between going out and buying just a standard car and a sports car. One's superior than the other and has a higher price tag.
I do hope I hope they undercut Sony. I really do.
I mean, if they undercut it, Sony, that'd be huge. But I think even if they hit
That's why they have their Lockhart.
$499, the Lockhart. But if they both hit $499, that's a big win for Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Phil said he's gonna be. They're agile on the price, so I think they're. I think
There's
he
no
has
choice.
the backing. If
Hey,
they
The
need
economy
to come
right
at the same
now
price.
is on fire in a bad way. I mean, you got 22 million people that have lost their jobs in the span of 3 weeks, and that number is looking like it's going to be higher.
Actually, it's 26 million, but yeah.
yeah.
I'm more.
The official number is 22, but you're damn near. I bet you it's going to be 26. So yeah.
I'm trying to figure out right now exactly because we all know GameStops aren't doing trade-ins right now.
They're not even open. Are they even
Well,
open?
Well, in my state, they are. You can't go into them. They'll hand you something outside the door.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you can't go into them. I mean, like they're on lockdown. But
Be trading in coronavirus.
well, actually, they don't do any trade-ins right now, and that's like part of my plan right there. Is like I have an Xbox One X in my bedroom that I am planning to use for trade-in value, and I'm just like, how the hell is that going to work if like we're not allowed to trade them in when these consoles start dropping?
No, we're gonna be rocking and rolling by the time those consoles launch. I'm not worried about.
Are
that.
you? And that's another thing, man. I don't really see people rushing out, getting into huge crowds wanting these consoles. I think we're going to see a lot of people probably using online stores to get them.
No, we're not going to be able to survive like that. You do that, we're talking about the death of this country. So,
Well, Best Buy now is doing curbside. You go into Best Buy and it's just like you already pre-order it, you pay for it. If you have a credit card, you put your information in, and the guy comes to your window. They tell you tell them what you order, and they bring it to you. So, we'll see. I mean, this world we live in, man, it's just everything's changed. Hopefully, like you said, it'll get better by then. But
no, you have to. You have no choice. You can't live like this. What are you gonna do?
Get another outbreak, man.
You know what? Through human history, up and down, man. Not to start preaching, but humankind finds a way.
Exactly.
Part.
Yeah.
Random point. Did anybody see that
like
video?
how the
where that,
dinosaurs going to
girl
mate and
was,
make baby dinosaurs, and they found a way, right? So we'll find a way. We'll make baby dinosaurs all
Did
over.
anybody see that random video?
Which one?
Can you hear me?
I could hear you now. What
I
random
can hear your
video
fucking.
okay.
I
what
can hear your
website
fucking
they're
car in the
Oh,
background.
No,
Yeah.
did anybody see that? It was a random thing I was gonna say. Did anybody see that random video where that girl was like flaunting money in
yeah.
her like IG account, and her window was down, and then somebody ran up and took all the money out of her hand, and ran off.
Oh my
Oh, wow.
god.
Dude, this is
It was
not a
hilarious.
time to screw around. I'm not trying to sound over dramatic, but a few weeks ago, I actually had a thought of I really shouldn't walk down the sidewalk right now with this case of ramen.
That's
You know-
currency right now.
Dude, for real. Like I
That's
almost
crazy.
because we actually got a hold of some and we just brought it home, and like I almost like just like walked around with it like it was nothing. I was like, wait a minute, this is gonna cause people to stare. I shouldn't do that.
That's like if it's in the back seat of your car, you cover it up, it'll break that window.
Yeah. I don't have that problem here. We don't have that problem here. Number one is everybody's concealed carry.
Everybody's carrying a gun.
Yeah.
I swear there's an apple pie in every window wherever Jeremy lives. I'm coming, man. I'm on my
The whole
way.
town smells like
You know
apple
what?
pie. What are you talking about?
Megatron, it's like that. You know,
Oh,
I know what you meant by that. It's like that, dude.
Now wait, we could tell how country it is right now. How dressed up does your town get for the holidays?
Every
Eh.
Sunday, bro. Every Sunday, we have to wear a suit. Whether you go into church
Oh,
or not.
I grew up in that town dressed itself out for the holidays. I mean, they got into it.
You got to be bundled, I'll tell you that.
Well, is it still snowing there?
You know what's crazy? Today was on and off between hot, I mean, not hot, but, really warm, like almost near 60 degrees, sunny out. And then the weather changes so dramatic here to where, they can be like a hailstorm coming in 5 minutes and they'll start hailing for 5 minutes. And then 5 minutes later, it'll be sunny again. It's just the weather changes on a whim here.
Mhm. Yeah, I kind of had the similar thing. Like we've had some really nice weather here in Ontario the past few weeks, but man, it keeps changing. Like I thought we were going to be done with snow, but then it started to sprinkle a little bit the other day, and then all of a sudden the sun comes out, but then it gets cold, and then it's April weather here. That's just kind of how it is. But I'm so ready because it's been teasing the nice warm weather here that it's just like, you know what? I'm just ready. I'm ready for sunny weather, ready to change the tires, put the summer tires on and just enjoy the weather.
Feel, man. Jeez, it's like freaking 80 degrees here every single day. I'm just getting sick of it.
Well,
I hate hot weather. I like fall. That's it. No, I can't. 74 degrees, perfect temperature for me, and that's it. I hate hot weather.
You know what, Megatron? If you lived where Centurion lives, your chocolate will melt, buddy.
That's it, bro.
Actually, we're doing pretty well. We're actually having cooler temperatures than we normally
Centurion,
do.
I'm talking about the summertime.
I know. You come down. I'll tell you what. You come down here when we're not all under quarantine and
120, 115.
come down here on the 4th of July. There's a lot of stuff to do down here. A lot of nice parties all around town for the 4th of July. But just know you're gonna lose a couple pounds too and sweat because I mean it is hot.
Well,
Centurion,
I'm already about 20. I'm really skinny anyway, right?
Centurion. Before I left my old company, I went down to your neck of the woods, and it was 115 degrees. So the asphalt and outside was probably about like 130, 140 degrees. It melted tires. Like
Wow.
it literally melted tires.
I haven't seen tires melt, but I've seen because I work around heavy equipment. I've seen asphalt roads break back down into asphalt, like where it softens because like the truck went over it and the road just kind of like moved out of the way because there was just so much weight and the heat. It just like sank into the damn road. Yeah, crazy stuff, dude. Like it gets interesting down here during the summertime because I mean, if you don't take care of your car down here, we have terms on news called carbecue. Cars just on the side of the road burning.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
Damn.
just thought, I don't think my state's gonna have an Indy 500 this year. That'd be maybe the first time.
That sucks.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I mean, it's in May, so I'm like, oh shit, that's like it's like the most populated sporting event in the world.
We're gonna have a day of
in one day,
silence
at least.
in Shockleystown due to the Daytona 500 not taking place.
Now, Shock, didn't they say they were going to delay it? I thought they said they were going to delay it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
I think they said they're going to delay it.
Dude, man. See, are we gonna get like are we going to get used to seeing sporting events where the event is going down, but there's no crowd?
There's no crowd. There's
No,
silent.
you want to
You
see
see her
it firsthand?
sneakers
Go watch
on a-
WrestleMania. Like, I mean, dude, like, it's actually kind of, it screws with you.
You used to hear sneakers on the court in basketball.
Oh, dude, you hear sneaker, dude. Watching wrestling right now, you can hear them talking to each other, all this stuff. Hell, you can hear the walkie-talkies on the camera guys.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like it's crazy. Like some of the stuff you're seeing. Like with
I don't
the
understand
wrestling.
I don't understand why they don't do like crowd overview protect. I don't know. It's just
See, one of those they have to follow CDC guidelines, and I think one of the guidelines is you're not allowed to have more than 10 people in a room at a time, like something like that. And like I've noticed that's why they had to split WrestleMania into 2 days. One of the main reasons is they couldn't have all those people there at one time. So
the times are changing,
dude. Like again, not trying to go off on go off the rails, but this is going to affect sports and entertainment considerably. Because right now, like stuff isn't even really being filmed. Try to film a movie and try to do a shot for a movie
got pushed back
show with 10 people.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how gaming's affected. Like I know right now they're pushing back some stuff, but hey, we'll see what happens. In the coming weeks. For all we know, we could hear about more game delays. So
be surprising. It's not going to be surprising. Everyone's working from home, but their kids are home too, and you're not. I mean, to be able to focus, it's people aren't considering that you have to teach your kids. Everyone's homeschooling now. So you're trying to be in the office through your virtual office, and
kids are so lucky.
Yeah, your kids are asking you, what's 4 + 4?
I wish this happened when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's like my girlfriend's a teacher, right? She teaches grade 1, and they're doing the online stuff. And I'll be honest, I don't know what she will do online with grade 1s, but it's like they do some show and tell, and it's like a couple of minutes of just showing off a toy or a stuffed bear or something. It's like it's cute, but I'm not, what else can you really do?
Yeah, no, but you're keeping them engaged. I think that's the one thing that we got to keep in mind here is, actually you're saying that it's got to be great time to be a kid. Is it really? Because if you got parents that don't care, you're out running amok, and that's even worse because you could potentially get sick. If you got parents that do care, you're not outside really, you're inside. And you know what it's like. I have a friend that's having to explain to her kids why they can't go see their grandparents and stuff like that. So in certain situations, it does kind of screw with a kid on why can't I go out inside and play with my friends? Because there's some magical force out there that can harm you.
My kids are sitting here listening. They're trying to figure out what the coronavirus is, and you can't go outside. We'll get the virus. Oh my God. Willow has the virus. She's got the corona. I don't know if they're just playing half the time or serious, but it's,
my kids don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right, fellas. I think on that note, I'm gonna call it quits for tonight's show.
We like to end the show on a high note.
But no, honestly, really, really good chats tonight, fellas, and a big thank you to everyone that tuned in to listen to us live and to participate in the chat. Who do we got here still kicking with us? Dreadpool, Fastback. Oh, man, so many. 9 Lives. Thanks for joining, my friend.
A lot of new people.
Yeah, we had a lot of cool. Ovaldo Brown, thank you. Victor, Lansville Paul. Yeah, all kinds of new faces joining us. Thank you tonight. Alex Basha and a whole bunch of others. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a really fantastic show. And guys, if you happen to like it, then share the show out, smack the like button, and leave a comment afterwards just to let us know your opinion on different things. Now on to the outros. Tim had to step out early, unfortunately, but great comments by Tim. Megatron, where can everybody find you?
As always, man, you can hit me up on Xbox Live playing Bleeding Edge. Playing some Bleeding Edge tonight. Hit us up right now. I don't know if Jeremy's gonna be if he's bluffing or not, but I'll be playing Bleeding Edge. So Bleeding Edge. My gamer tag is my gamer tag is Megatron.
Playing what?
Bleeding Edge.
Oh my god!
Bleeding Edge.
My headphones completely
My
muffled that
gamer
for something I
tag
don't even
is
wanna read.
Megatron1. Hit me up and you can find me on Twitter. Megatron_1975. Middle fingers to Jeremy. They're way up. You can't see it, but it's there. You can feel it.
Oh my god!
I don't think I've let him laugh. I don't think I've ever heard Jeremy laugh this hard. So
Let him have it. Let him have his time.
too good, too good. Well, hey guys in the chat, definitely send Megatron an invite or something. Get a party started. As I'm gonna mute you. I swear.
Oh my god! I'm gonna go back and.
He's holding his time.
Oh my god! I can't breathe.
Listen live as Downer chokes.
Oh man! All right, Shock. I know you're busy driving away there, but awesome show.
Oh my god.
Jeremy has a heart attack.
I think
You're busy driving
over there. He is losing it.
Oh my god! that was funny.
Yeah, you can find me at Shock Nero on
You
Twitter.
can find me in your car.
Jesus Christ.
There we go.
And Easy Shock on Xbox Live and PSN. But yeah, thanks. It was a good show.
This podcast fell apart real quick.
At least it's a tail end, buddy. Centurion, bud. Awesome show. Where can you be found?
You can always find me at Centurion1307 at Xbox Live, Twitter, and YouTube. And thank you once again, Invader, for letting me host last week. It was a blast. And man, is anybody going to be playing any good games? You know, I just 100%ed Journey to the Savage Planet. That was actually fun.
Yeah, that's a good game.
I need to download it from Game Pass, but
Dude, that game was fun.
give it a shot. Just there's so much to play. Like I just downloaded Nier Automata. I want to give that a go. There's just so much out right now. Even some of the sales are really good. But on that note,
I did pick up quite a bit of PSN games. I think that got them on sale.
So
I
tell me,
bought Days Gone, Death Stranding.
one last question. Would I be a fraud for buying Final Fantasy VII?
No, play
Why would you
games,
be a
man.
fraud?
I don't know.
Play games.
I want to hold out and get it on my Xbox, but I just hear all this stuff about it. And I want to check out this game.
nah, dude, buy whatever you want
know
on
what?
whatever platform.
I was thinking about buying it too. However,
Then I saw something for $1,200.
No, it's I have a problem with it releasing in parts, you know, and if you want the whole experience, because by the time the other game rolls around, you're just gonna forget about what happened in the first one. So I think I'll wait until the game is complete that day in like 10 years.
It's a complete game. Like when you play it, it's like 44 plus hours, probably close to 50 hours. Like it's a full.
But you know, I mean, for those
fleshed
who have played Final Fantasy VII, no, it's not the complete game. So that's always in back of my head.
Then again, if you go back and play Final Fantasy, that Midgar section was only like an hour or so long, whereas here it's like 55 or about 50 hours long. So maybe that part was incomplete because it didn't have much to go on. You were out of Midgar in 2 hours.
Wow.
And the launch title for the PS6 is Final Fantasy VII, the other half.
Now, this is the one they should have snagged instead of Rise of the Tomb Raider for year exclusive. Everybody said it would have flopped. No, this thing would have done gangbusters on Xbox.
Of course it would.
Because it's too big of a title.
What if they released it in like parts for Xbox when it comes out? Who's gonna be pissed then?
Oh, it will be in a part. It will be the first part will be like a year from now.
Yeah, they're
not going to be done with the second part. The game's so big And they, as much as they fleshed out just the Midgar section of the original game, like
Okay, I see what
it's
you're saying.
easily going to be 3 parts, I would think.
All right,
But
Jeremy.
you don't feel ripped off when you play. It's an amazing combat system. It's really fun.
Jeremy,
You
you
know
done
what?
laughing?
You know what, Shockley? Our fans feel ripped off when you're driving away in your vehicle on this podcast.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
I was wondering
Why?
when it was coming.
Spice and flavor to the podcast. It's like you just don't know what's going to happen. Like, what if we heard Shockley get mugged?
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah.
was that
Then
your
I'd feel like-
deployment?
Shockley
right.
knows I'm just he knows I
Get the hell
know.
out of here, Downer.
You can find me on Xbox, Downer J, Downer out.
All right. And now Jeremy's done laughing. Guys, of course, I'm Invader. You can find me on my channel, Invader Gaming, and of course on Twitter at Invader_1986. Guys, again, fantastic show. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you all next week. So take it easy, fellas.
Peace.